Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. You know, it tells you a lot about the priorities of our ruling class that the rest of us are getting yet another lecture about January 6th tonight from our moral inferiors, no less. An outbreak of mob violence, a forgettably minor outbreak by recent standards that took place more than a year and a half ago, but they've never stopped talking about it. Tulsi Gabbard is a former member of Congress from Hawaii, ran for president last cycle. She joins us tonight with her assessment. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. So given everything the country faces right now, both domestically and abroad, why are the news networks colluding with a political party to tell us this is the most important thing?
Because whether you're talking about the mainstream media or you're talking about Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, or Congress, frankly, they don't care about the real threats that we face.
There was no love for Fox News advertisers last night when Tucker Carlson aired his entire show in the same time slot as the January 6th hearing without any commercial breaks. I'm Yasmin Khan with Rebel HQ, and I'm sure most of you watching this have already watched the hearing last night, or you've at least seen the highlights by now. Those watching Tucker Carlson last night did not see the hearing, at least not in full, not the way the rest of us did. Rather than bump Tucker Carlson from his regularly scheduled time slot, Fox News decided to continue its network-wide denial of the events of January 6th, even a year and a half later, even with all of the evidence that has since come out regarding the insurrection at the Capitol and the attempted coup that motivated it. Not only that, but rather than even risk the possibility that viewers would switch to another network and actually see what was taking place at the hearing, Tucker Carlson went on without a single commercial break. Fox News and Tucker actually sacrificed some cash for the sake of the cause. It's just too bad that their cause is lying to the American people. It makes sense that Fox News would want to censor the hearing, even though they are anti-censorship. They were in it. Within, I think it was the first hour of the hearing, text messages between Sean Hannity and former White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany were cited and displayed. Those weren't even the only texts that Sean Hannity sent that day, but I'm sure more will come in the subsequent hearings.
The whole thing is insulting. In fact, it's deranged, and we're not playing along. This is the only hour on an American news channel that will not be carrying their propaganda live. They are lying, and we are not going to help them do it.
The disservice that Fox News does to its viewers is bold, blatant, and unapologetic. They deliberately lie to their viewers, treating the general public like fools and using fear to motivate unquestioning loyalty. Tucker took a tone last night of rugged individualism, a contrarian on the side of the people, who refused to be a part of the system that he helped to create. Fox News was the only network willing to take a stand against the farce of the hearing. They should be commended for their decision not to air it, not criticized for it. The rest of those networks, they're sheep. That footage from within the insurrection that we all saw, Tucker's viewers saw it too, sort of. They saw it from far away. They saw a wide-angled shot of a room full of people watching something on a screen over there. The image of the screen the room full of people were watching wasn't tight enough to really discern what was on it from your television at home, at least not with the same impact it would have had they watched the footage properly. It's like taking a video of your friend watching a video on his phone and thinking that's the same thing as you just watching the video for yourself. On top of that, that wide shot only took up half of the television screen. The other half was taken up by Tucker and his guest talking over the broadcast, dismissing it as maybe some vandalism, but nothing to write home about. Now, it might have been quite a shock for Fox News viewers to actually see the footage from January 6th and to watch the hearing. The network has barely talked about it since it happened, apart from dismissing it as anti-Trump propaganda. Between Tucker and Hannity, the insurrection was either not a huge deal, or it was a huge deal and it was Nancy Pelosi's fault that it got so out of hand. The two anchors can't even decide on a single narrative. Hannity even had the audacity to ask why the Capitol Police, quote, didn't lift a finger that day, even though, as the rest of us know, they did so much more that day than they were even trained to do. The testimony the rest of us heard from Officer Edwards and the video footage from Mr. Quested not only told us but showed us exactly what those officers were up against and how hard they did fight to contain a mob that grossly outnumbered them. Officer Edwards said she was engaged in hours of hand-to-hand combat, which she was never trained for. She attempted to hold down a bike rack barricade to prevent the mob from advancing further into the Capitol, but she got knocked over, hit her head on the concrete, and blacked out. Thankfully, she didn't get trampled before someone helped her up, but when she awoke, she sprang back into action, helped attend to other injured officers, and she got tear gassed. She said she was slipping on people's blood inside the Capitol. She asked for backup. It never came. Trump never made the call. And Sean Hannity wants to know why she and her colleagues didn't do more. Capitol Police lost their lives that day, and Sean Hannity wants to know why they didn't do more to stop the insurrection that he helped to incite from behind a desk.
Officer Edwards, can you describe the crowd that had assembled at the Peace Circle as you and your fellow officers stood behind and guarded the bike racks at the Peace Circle?
I've worked, I can, conservatively say probably hundreds of civil disturbance events. I know when I'm being turned into a villain, and that's when I turned to my sergeant and I stated the understatement of the century. I said, Sarge, I think we're gonna need a few more people down here.
Hearings aren't trials. They're just intended to present information for the public to hear it. Problem is, the people who most need to hear it won't. They won't hear former Attorney General Bill Barr saying that he, quote, did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen, and he didn't want to be a part of it. They didn't hear Ivanka Trump testifying that she agreed with Barr. They didn't hear testimony that Trump had been informed that he had absolutely lost the election. By the way, Trump has since posted on Truth Social that Bill Barr, quote, sucked, and that Ivanka was ill-informed and had checked out of the whole thing. So basically, she didn't know what she was talking about. Last night's hearing made clear that everything leading up to the January 6th insurrection was premeditated and pre-planned. A riot or a mob is neither of those things, an insurrection is. The people who still choose not to believe what has so clearly been laid out in front of them have months and years of mental and emotional manipulation to overcome. They have to get past the fear of others. They have to get past the fact that they have been treated like pawns. They have to get past the betrayal they likely feel, and they have to get past the embarrassment of admitting that they were wrong after being so adamant about their thoughts and beliefs that they either took part in a storming of the nation's capital or supported the effort from afar. They have to get past the fact that they are not the saviors they fancy themselves to be. They're not heroes. They're not patriots. Their fellow Americans don't view them that way. It's not about Trump anymore. It's about the people that he's insulted, used, and threw away. It's about the families he's destroyed. It's about the division he deliberately inflicted on an entire nation. It's about the people who helped him do all of the above, and for the people who fell for the ruse. It's time to deal with what he's done and move forward.